Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, the Chicago Bulls beat the Boston Celtics 117-108. And look, we're going to be honest. Chicago Bulls, they played a good game tonight. Zach LaVine was terrific. There are some other guys on this Bulls team that stepped up. Mostly was LaVine, who played a big role in this game. But if you want to look at some of the other guys, Ayo Dosunmu was great. Patrick Williams was good. Vucevic was great. Kobe White was pretty solid. Other guys stepped up. But the Boston Celtics beat themselves in this game, and I think the Chicago Bulls tried to beat themselves in this game as well. And, you know, this is a perfect example. This game itself, with the way that both of these teams, the style, the way that basketball was played tonight, is exactly why NBA ratings are down. Exactly why. We saw, this is just crazy to say, 108 combined three-pointers attempted in this game. 56 threes for the Boston Celtics attempted tonight. 52 for the Chicago Bulls. The Boston Celtics are a great three-point shooting team, but I don't think there's any reason for 56 three-pointers to needed to go up. And the Bulls, I think they have some good shooters. Like LaVine was in sync tonight. 6 for 11 from 3. Outside of LaVine, you have some other good shooters. You have Lonzo, who could barely buy a 3 tonight. Patrick Williams is a good shooter. He shot good tonight. Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu are good three-point shooters. But there's no reason for them to shoot over 53s in a night as well. And this game is just a casual example of the NBA basically being a three-point shooting contest at this point. And the one thing I was thinking about while watching the highlights of this game, I didn't watch this game. I was watching a couple other games. I was watching as a Rockets fan, was watching the Rockets-Pelicans game, was watching the Thunder and the Magic, and then also watching the Knicks and the Timberwolves. Also watched the Lakers and the Pelicans. Those were the games I watched tonight. So I did catch the end of this Celtics Bulls game, but but that was really it. But watching the highlights of this game, seeing all the the missed threes, and on all the 3-pointers that are being attempted, I understand why people don't want to watch basketball. Like I'll continue to watch basketball because I love basketball. But it just makes me understand why people are so turned off by basketball because of the nonstop 3-point shooting. And the one thing that it made me start thinking about, as a Rockets fan, I started thinking about how, how everybody's, shooting threes now. And the one thing I started thinking about as a Rockets fan is how, the Rockets team, the Mike D'Antoni teams, I think has big reason why basketball changed. I think it starts with Stephen Curry. I think when Stephen Curry came into basketball, he brought in his 3-point shot. That changed players. That changed the game all around. With 3-point shooting, you saw players shooting more threes. But I think when the Rockets Mike D'Antoni teams happened, where that Rockets team lived and died by shooting threes. Big term that the Rockets used were threes were greater than 3 is greater than 2, which is a fact. I mean, if you want to do simple math, yes, 3 is greater than 2, but it's not always smart to just shoot 3s and not 2s. I think the Mike D'Antoni Rockets team, those teams, the started in 16-17, went all the way to the 2019-20 season. That Mike D'Antoni Rockets teams with Harden that lasted about 3 seasons. As a Rockets fan, I just feel like that's what started the identity of NBA teams, living and dying by the 3-point basket. And I think that I think that my favorite team might have changed basketball in a bad way. Now I think at times it really worked out for that team. Obviously, it hurt them in a big game against the Warriors in Game 7, but it really worked out for that team, and it's worked out. It's worked out for multiple teams for a good part of the time, shooting the 3 at a high volume. but I think it's not entertaining for basketball fans. And when it doesn't go well, there are teams that don't stop, and you saw it tonight with the Boston Celtics and the Chicago Bulls. For the Bulls, it didn't go great. 36% from three is not bad when you're shooting 52 3-pointers, but 19 for 52 is not that good. I mean, 14 for 56 is absolutely terrible. Like, why do you keep shooting the 3-pointer? I mean, let's go to Derek White. He's a good 3-point shooter, but at one point you're going to stop shooting the ball. You're 3 for 12. Like, it's not your night, man. It's really the entire team. Like, I'm not gonna. We won't talk about Peyton Pritchard because I thought he shot. I won't talk about guys like Peyton Pritchard and Jason Tatum. 4 for 11, 4 for 10. Those are the only guys I think actually shot pretty well from the team. From three tonight, compared to everybody else. But Porzingis, 2 for 7, good 3-point shooter. But if it's that's not terrible as compared to the others. But Derek White, 3 for 12. Not knocking him down. Drew Holiday, 0 for 4. Jaylen Brown, 1 for 8. At one point, do you just stop shooting from three? Outside of that, it was a good night for Jaylen Brown. Like, Jaylen Brown, you're 6 for 9 when you're not shooting threes. Continue to shoot mid-range shots and going inside the basket. Stop shooting threes. You're having a great night outside of shooting threes. He had 16 points and 6 for 9 shooting when he was not shooting the three. If he put more time, more attention, and more possessions into scoring 2-pointers instead of threes, he'd have more points in this game. If he shot, if he didn't shoot 8 threes when he was only 1 for 8. So way too many guys on this Boston Celtics team and the Bulls shooting the ball when it's not your night. I mean, you go to the Bulls, 1 for 7 for Lonzo Ball. So why are you continuing to shoot? I mean, a couple guys off the bench, Julian Phillips and Taylor Horton-Tucker. Like, Taylor Horton-Tucker is not that bad of a 3-point shooter. He's not amazing, but not your night. Why you stop shooting if it's not your night? I mean, look, there are guys that it is their night. They have the green light. Like, look on the Bulls. Pat Williams, 4 for 9. Zach LaVine, 6 for 11. Those guys are feeling it. Vucevic, 2 for 3 from 3. Those guys are feeling it. They're in the zone. Let them continue to shoot. Or the Celtics with Peyton Pritchard and Jason Tatum. But all the others, like, stop shooting. Go in, go drive. Create a mid-range shot. Give it to one of the other players that are actually knocking down threes if you want to shoot a 3. Ayo Dosunmu as well for the Bulls tonight. So I understand, people don't want to watch basketball anymore because of this 3-point shooting contest. 108 combined threes is just ridiculous. I think it's embarrassing, to be honest. But look, it was a good win for the Bulls tonight. I think so. I think the Bulls are terrible, but I think for the Bulls to still go into Boston and get a win is still amazing. I think they have talent, and when you have talent, I think you can beat just about anybody. But can you be efficient with beating teams? Like, you have Zach LaVine, who's an all-star. You have Kobe White, who didn't have a great game tonight, but still is a great player. You have other guys that are very successful. Vucevic had a great double-double tonight, 16 and 14. You have other great players on the team. They weren't even healthy tonight. No Josh Giddey for this Bulls team. So, look, I think they have talent. Look, also no Torrey Craig as well. They have talent. I believe so. And when you have talent like they do, you're capable of beating the Celtics. But can you make it happen? But when Zach LaVine's playing like this, when he's dropping near 40 points, having the night he had tonight, near perfect at the free throw line, plus 50% from 3, plus 50% from the floor, they can just beat about anybody. But they don't play like this every night, and that's why they're 13 and 15. They weren't even healthy tonight. I mean, no Josh Giddey, no Torrey Craig. So, but also they did get a little bit lucky. The Celtics were so dumb and just would not stop shooting threes. It's unfortunate. Like I mentioned, I think that my favorite team is what started this. I think the player that started this with the 3-point shot, which I don't think was that bad when it started, was a Steph. But then what I think what got it really out of hand was, the Mike D'Antoni team that lived and died by the three. And I think after that team and during that time, you saw more and more teams shoot the three more and more. And it's really turned into a big problem for basketball. The teams wise, some teams have a big problem with it. The Bulls didn't have a huge problem with it tonight. The Celtics did. Some teams have big problems with not being able to knock down threes. Like, for instance, the Grizzlies tonight. Like, you want to go to the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies shot like almost 50 threes and shot 50% from three. Like, the Grizzlies hit like 27 threes tonight. So that's a team that's taking advantage of shooting the three excessively. But there are so many teams that hurt from this, and not only that, but mainly the fans who are just so upset about watching a 3-point contest. So let me know your thoughts on the Bulls' 117-108 win in the comments section, and peace out.